Hi there, welcome to your practice. We are going to start this one standing. So just find a comfortable standing position. Maybe pat around your feet a little bit. Start to sense the ground underneath. And then maybe you can do a little gentle rock front to back, side to side. And we're looking to start making contact underneath the ball of the big toe, pinky toe, center of the heel. When you feel that, I like to sometimes just kind of like circle around it, circle the other way so I'm feeling those points of contact. And when you feel ready, you can land and center, a little easy bend in the knees. You can lengthen up, broaden across the collarbones, between the shoulder blades and the back. And then we're going to take 5 breaths here. So consider what would be most resonant for you. Maybe you want to face your palms forward, bring your hands to your heart or your belly, have them rest by your side or whatever else would feel good for you. Eyes softly open or closed. And just beginning here, inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the nose or the mouth, your choice. If you are exhaling through the mouth, you might like to do a few sighs. Letting this be an opportunity to begin. It's kind of like, remember when we had to used to really turn the dial to find the radio station? Like sometimes you caught it and sometimes it was just fuzz and then sometimes it blasted really loud and then you kind of clicked into the right place. We're looking to kind of do that. We're looking to click in, which doesn't mean it's going to happen right this second or even at all, but it's the process. When you're complete with your 5 breaths, you can open your eyes if they were closed. Bring your arms down by your sides and just, again, little gentle bend. Now we're going to start to just sway a little. So you can step your feet wider here. Maybe beginning to just figure 8 with the hips. And then we're going to bring the hands to the heart. And if you want to step your feet back in, you can. We're going to inhale, take the arms out wide. Exhale, come back in, hands to the heart. And then maybe take the arms up on a diagonal and come back in. So let this be fluid and experimental. So you're just taking the hands in different directions, seeing how that feels, and always coming back home to the heart. We'll do it a couple more times. Maybe you want to experiment with some different angles or revisit some that you've already done. We'll come back to center. Arms by the sides. Now we're going to start one arm moving and just kind of like we just did, just fluidly starting to move through space. And then the other arm can come in. And you might notice this arm started to hold still while this arm was moving. So we're going to invite them both into conversation. Sometimes they're doing the same thing in different directions. Sometimes they're doing totally different things. If you're not really sure, one option I like for getting started is just envisioning that you're standing in a lake, in a pool, in any body of water really, and just your arms are just floating here. You know that sensation? There's like some buoyancy, the current, the movement of the water is inviting the arms to move. And the rest of the body in the water also has some ease and some movement. So you can also take it from there. Sometimes I like to close my eyes as I'm doing this. Sometimes I like to step wider or even start to move around. So when you're ready, you can begin to add in, if you haven't already, your torso and your hips. So why are we starting like this in a flow practice? Well, we are inviting ourselves not to be too corny, but to get into the flow of our own body. So we're beginning from a place that is body-led, that doesn't have a destination. Because I don't know about you, but much of my life is about, and I was going to say I prefer it. I don't know if I prefer it, but I have been like acculturated to prefer having a destination, a goal, something that I'm working towards. And that's not good or bad inherently, but it is something many of us are used to. So when we're starting in this more open place, then hopefully we can bring some of that energy, that curiosity into the part of our practice that is a little bit more, okay, we're doing this asana and then the next one, asana being a pose. So if you haven't already, you can start to get the legs involved. And maybe you keep them down and just start to spin them around. Maybe you pick them up, move through space. Be curious. If you have something like a wall nearby, you can use that to explore the space even more. Could be a chair, a still and cooperative dog, whatever you might have in your space. I have a big dog, but not a particularly still or cooperative one in this way. We're just going to stay with this just a little while longer. So if anything else is wanting to move, think about what would help you just start to, again, click into that dial. And of course, you don't have to stay standing. You can sweep down to the floor. You can come down to the floor. This is your practice. Make it whatever is most beneficial, interesting, supportive for you. Just one more moment here. And when you're ready, we're going to come back to center. We're just going to pause here. So find that standing position like you did earlier. Eyes closed or softly open. Hands wherever you like. Let's just take a few breaths here, letting that movement integrate. Noticing how you feel, and if or how that's different from our first check-in here. And when I offer a question like that, it's not because I'm expecting some sort of linear progression, but because I think it's valuable to notice. That's it. If your eyes are closed, when you're ready, you can open the eyes. Bring the hands down. And we're going to come now in front of the blocks. So you can start them on any height. I like to start on medium. It's a nice way to check in and either go up or down or stay. So we're going to begin here just taking the arms up overhead on an inhale. Exhale, taking the arms down. So you, if you're like me, might have already anticipated, okay, we're going to fold forward next, but we didn't do that yet. And the reason is, I just want us to reconnect again with the playfulness, I think is the word I'm looking for, the experimental attitude that we just had in that version of flow before we move forward. So letting yourself be interested in what is happening right now, even if you've done this next series of movements, what feels like 3 million times. Or, importantly, even if this is the very first time you're doing it. Okay, so next time we're going to inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, fold forward, hands to the blocks. So this is your check-in forward bend. If your belly feels compressed, step your feet a little wider. If you naturally have bend in the elbows, that might tell you could dial down. I don't really without strain. I'm going to stay here. If you're here and you're really feeling it in your low back, your hamstrings, anywhere else, come up to the highest height. These blocks are here to support you, not the other way around. On your next inhale, we're going to press through the feet. Come on up. Arms by the sides. Okay, let's add on. Inhale, arms up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, come halfway up towards a flat back. Exhale, fold. Take a breath here. Head is releasing down. On your next inhale, we'll press through the feet. Come up. Exhale, arms by the sides. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, and this time, let it be a little bit fluid. So maybe I'm starting here just taking my hips side to side, of course, just continuing to breathe. We're waving my spine up. This time I'm waving it up side by side. That's just kind of what happened. And then when you get towards a flat back, maybe you stay there, or maybe you start to move it a little front to back, side to side, finding any little nooks and crannies that want to move. And then on your next exhale, whenever that comes, we'll fold forward. Take a breath here. Your next inhale, come on up. Exhale, arms by the sides. So this time your choice, inhale up. Exhale, fold. And then starting on an inhale, working your way towards halfway up. So coming up more directly, coming up more fluidly. Maybe experimenting with a little of both. What's it like to hold? And then what's it like to let the movement be dynamic? Maybe moving with the breath. Whenever your next exhale comes, you can fold forward, take a breath. And then on an inhale, we're going to step the right foot back to a lunge. So you're on the ball of the back foot. And then a few options, as always. So stay here. You can, of course, adjust the blocks in any way. Another option is to come up, and you can come up from the ball of the back foot, keeping that in that position. Or if it's better for you, you can turn the back foot out about 30 degrees, plant the foot down, and come up. So lots of choices here. Once you're up, we're going to just broaden across the front of the collarbones. Let the arms hang loosely by the sides. We're pressing the back thigh back. And now bring up the arms, again, like you're in that body of water. So we're inviting in strength and stillness in the legs, fluidity and ease in the upper body. And you may be experiencing, as I am, that these are not static states. I can feel strength in my arms, and I can feel fluidity and movement in my legs. Now you can let these arm movements get bigger, or maybe you would like to hold with the arms up overhead or at the heart. Again, experimenting. Some of both, maybe. Your next inhale will reach up through the fingertips. Exhale, fold forward, hands to the blocks. Pausing here. If it's not already, you can turn that back foot out, plant it down. We're going to start to work the front leg towards straight. Head is releasing down. Now we're going to inhale, bend through the front knee. In one or more steps, step the back foot forward, and you can step it a little wide to make some space to come up. And then fold forward, taking a breath here. When you're ready, press through the feet, come on up, arms up overhead. Exhale, arms by the sides. Okay, so second side here. We're going to inhale, arms up. Exhale and fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. That time we just went directly. Now on an inhale, we're going to step the left foot back into a lunge. And then yogi's choice. So stay here, come up through the lunge, or plant the foot and come up. And of course, if having the front knee bent as we move through here doesn't work for you, you can keep the front leg straight. Just keep a little micro bend in that knee. So beginning here again, in the water. The water doesn't work for you as an image. Maybe it's air, or you're in a cloud, or here I'm looking out into some mist in a forest. Maybe it's color. Maybe you don't need any image at all. You just tune into the sensation. Staying here, letting the arms start to experiment and move. Maybe you'd like to just hold the arms overhead or at the heart, at the hips. Doesn't have to be the same. In fact, is quite unlikely to be as the first side. When you're ready, we're going to inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale and fold. Now, in one or more steps, well, let's stay here first. We're going to start to shift the hips back. Work the front leg towards straight. We don't want to forget this part. Head is releasing down. Now, in one or more steps, you can step the back foot forward. Fold down, take a breath. And we'll press through the feet. Come on up. And bring the arms down by the sides. Now we're going to step the feet wide. Turn one foot, it doesn't matter which one, in. This is going to be your back foot. Other foot is going to turn out. This is going to be your front foot. So we're going to begin to inhale, bend the front knee here. Exhale, straighten the leg. You can add on the arms. Inhale. Arms come shoulder height, palms face the floor. Exhale down. Maybe you want to do it from the heart, sort of like we did earlier. Inhale out. Exhale in. Let's do one more dynamically moving like this with the breath. And then we're going to hold. Back hand can drop to the back leg. Front arm's going to reach over. Pass back through center. And then work the front leg towards straight. Turn the feet to parallel. From here, before we go to the other side. And if your feet want to break, just step your feet together. Let the hips move a little bit. If the feet want a little stretch, you can flip them over. Do anything that helps you, just. And then we're going to step the feet wide again. Now we're going to reverse the feet. So you have a new back and a front leg. And then inhale, we're going to bend that front knee, not going past the front ankle. Knee is roughly aligned with the second toe. Exhale, straighten the leg. Now if you like, add on the arms. You have lots of options for the arms. You could also go diagonal, up overhead, from the heart. And if you notice as you're going, like, oh, my jaw feels really tight, or I notice I'm really gripping my belly, take a moment. Maybe you want to release through the jaw or the belly. Next time we're through the bent knee, we'll hold it right there. And then back hand drops to the back leg. Front arm comes over. And we'll come back to center. Turn the feet to parallel. Step the feet together. And now if the feet want to break, again, just flip them over. We're going to come from here to the floor. If you prefer, you can come to a chair instead. So you might like to grab your blanket if you're coming to the floor. I like to use my blocks for a little support. Bring the floor to me a little bit. I'll come around to seated. So we're going to take the legs wide wherever you are. Taking one hand under one hip, moving the skin out and back. Same thing on the other side. Now, bringing your arms in front of you like you have a big beach ball. And we're going to start to take this beach ball to one side and the other. You can take your beach ball up to one side, down the diagonal, up the other corner, and down. And then you can start to just move it around in different places, experimenting. As you go, if you want to drop your volleyball and just start to reach your arms, you're welcome to do that. Sometimes moving, sometimes holding. This is a dance that we're always in. The ebb and flow of life. The yoga mat is a place we can attune to it a little more, which also means attuning to ourselves. So just taking another minute or so here to make any movements that would feel good for you before we transition to our relaxation. And if you're ready to go there now, please go ahead. Whenever you're ready, you can start to make your way to a comfortable seated or relaxed rather position for you. If you're going to lie on your mat, I like to bring your blanket under your head. So many options. You could be doing this from a chair or laying down on a couch or a bed. If you're laying down, knees can be bent. Maybe step the feet even a little wider, let the knees rest in towards each other. Legs could be extended. You could do any other restful position for you. And we're just going to take a moment here before we drop in more. Sort of like we did earlier when we checked in. An invitation to let the movement that we've done integrate into your body. And to notice how you are feeling. What differences, if any, you notice from our various check-ins throughout the practice. And when you're ready, you can let the inquiry go. Perhaps moving your attention from your feet, working your way up your body. Inviting the parts of the body that you pass over to soften even 10%. Let them receive support of the floor or whatever you're in contact with, even 10% more. And we'll just rest here for a little while longer. Let's take 5 more breaths here, just taking your time. After your 5th exhale, whenever that comes, take a moment to notice how you feel. When you're ready, you can start to invite some movement back into your body, maybe starting with wiggling fingers and toes. And as we've done throughout this practice, letting that guide you into whatever other movements would feel good. As you gently make your way up to seated, however is best for you. Once you're up, coming into any position, we won't be here long. If you'd like, you can join me in folding your hands together in front of your heart. And take them up to the forehead. May I think of myself with kindness. To the eyes, may I see myself with compassion. To the mouth, may I speak to myself with love. And to the heart, to seal it in. We'll inhale and exhale. Thank you for practicing with me.